Welcome to Life Fit with DVD. That is me. Said it again. It keeps happening. But today I wanted to talk about what your most value attribute is. And I was thinking, as usual, fairly deeply about this the other day, in that what is the one thing that if it was taken away from you, you would be reduced to pretty much nothing. You wouldn't be able to do anything else. Um, what is the one ability or the one attribute that you have that is the most important? And it is also the one that I think is most overlooked. And that is your health. That is the ability of your body to keep going. And that is once again what being life fit is about here. And I wanted to expand upon what your health means to you and why it's so important. So, of course, you know, why is it the most valuable attribute? And you can take away, your house, your job, your family, even your money. But if you don't have your health, what can you do? What can you create? What value can you contribute? How much longer do you have? Are you able to continue on, right? And this is why it's so important to actually make it a habit to focus on it and to research what is most important to your own health. Now, I wanted to share a quick story about why this is important to me. And a few years ago, you know, obviously healthy, doing great, and I had gone to a trampoline park, which is, something that's fun, that we are just, playing around and wanted to have a good time. And I warmed up and everything, but when I was jumping on one of the trampolines, I got a little bit too high off of one of the bounces, and I came down and my leg snapped. And it wasn't a bone that snapped; it was my knee, basically dislocated, and I tore my ACL, MCL, and meniscus in the process. And it's pretty much a very significant shock, but I sat up and my leg kind of popped back into place miraculously, and I then convinced myself that, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I think it's okay. And I tried jumping on it, and then I was like, no, it's not okay. And yeah, found out that I did all of that damage and I needed to get surgery. And there was a recovery process that I had to go through with that I think I had shared a little bit about the other day, which was getting my health back from the surgery. But it was a period of 4 to 6 months that I would say that I just I wasn't myself. I wasn't able to exercise and move around, and I was very unhappy and felt very unlike myself. It brought me down physically, obviously mentally, spiritually, that I just felt like I couldn't do anything. I was fortunate enough to be able to work from home, but even then, I was on painkillers, and just obviously my mind wasn't where it used to being as sharp as it typically is and as alert, right? But I was still able to do the job sufficiently. So what that brought to mind though was that, whoa, like when your health is taken away, and it can happen obviously in an instant, what are you gonna do? Because this could be, in my situation, it was a freak thing, an incredible learning experience as usual, and it really brought to the forefront of my mind, wow, my health is the most important, and maintaining it, not just appreciating it and being in good shape, but also the the maintenance of it and doing it in a way that is going to be sustainable. So, what do I mean by that? How can you take better care of your own health? And I want to preface this by everybody is different. Everybody has different health requirements. Maybe preconceived or pre-existing conditions or something to that effect that you need to research and you need to understand. And I'm not going to say uh, that you should always trust one doctor with this, but go seek out multiple doctors. Seek out people that you can trust. Seek out different opinions. Now, it is important to consult doctors, especially if you're not very in touch with your body and thinking about your own health is a stressful thing that you do avoid. If you do something like that, then absolutely consult with a doctor. But if you like to research things like myself and find that you are very in touch with how your body functions and the way it works and what feels good and what doesn't, then explore some of these things yourself, right? Your body is going to be something that is going to be a process of feeling out what works and what doesn't, trying things. And if you do it in a smart, intelligent, discerning way, then you won't have anything to fear, right? But it'll be a process of honing and getting incrementally better and better with your own health to where you want it to be. So, all right, how can you better take care of your own health and maintain it in a way that is going to be, something you can do over time? Now, first thing that I do, exercise, fitness. I work out every day. That's what works for me. Uh, Typically, it is high intensity interval training workouts that are about a half hour long. That works for my time schedule. I find it's like the right amount of fitness that I get a good sweat in for the exercise that I'm doing. I burn calories, typically 400, 500 calories for a workout, and I get a sweat in, so that clears the toxins from the body if you had anything in there from the day before, and you also feel great afterwards. You feel like you've accomplished something for the day, and that your mind is and everything else is ready to go. Right? You feel very sharp afterwards. Maybe not immediately afterwards. You'll feel a little bit tired, but yeah, afterwards, later in the day. I work out in the mornings typically, and it starts the day in the right way. So your fitness, obviously crucial. I change it up every once in a while. I like the high intensity interval trainings because it's intense enough for the getting a sweat. But I know that other people need something that's more low key. They don't want to sweat. They maybe for whatever situation they shouldn't be. Um, so do something a little bit less high impact, right? Tone it down. Just movement, right? Yoga is great. Um, Pilates is another that is great for slowing it down and doing exercises that are going to be a little bit gentler on the body. Uh, I also meditate, and I just want to throw that in there because if sometimes you do meditation certain ways, that'll be like an exercise. Holding your body in an upright position and just breathing can heat the body significantly and is an amazing way to get present with your mind and connect it to the body. So some sort of movement every day. I mean, some days I run, and I don't lift as much because most of the stuff I do is at home. So I do have weights. but of course it's not benching or doing high intensity like leg lifts, going for max weight, right? I find that to be very stressful on the body. Um, Not that it's not it's a bad thing or anything like that. It's just not for me, right? I just love movement, stretching, doing something, and I think that is a great way just to move your body and get your mind get out of your mind as well. I mean, because when you're in movement, it's easier to be in a flow state as opposed to being in your mind and potentially stuck in certain patterns of thinking. And movement is great for just having breakthroughs and new ideas as well. So, exercise, key thing. Next thing is sleep. Um, I find 8 hours is the best. I have tried to experiment with doing less and, napping stuff, different cycles. It never works, at least for me. I know some people that only sleep about 5 hours, 4 hours, and they're like, oh, yeah, that's enough. Maybe it is. For me, absolutely not. And I suspect that's the way it is for most people. A lot of people have issues with sleep, for a variety of reasons. It could be blue light late at night, watching TV close to bed, having the TV on while you sleep. Residual light in the room will keep your body awake. Try to stick to your circadian rhythms, which is following what the sun does. When the sun goes down, try to go to sleep shortly thereafter. When it comes up, get up, right? Now, that actually doesn't work for me very well. I'm more of a night owl. My mind likes to be active at night. Uh, but I know that if I wanted to shift my body into a more, circadian rhythm area, or, I don't even know, a pattern that would be better for my health in that area, that would work. Um, because getting up in the morning and looking directly into the sun, not looking directly, but getting some fresh sunlight early in the morning helps to reset your body clock and know when it should go to sleep and wake up. Uh, Having some sort of water early in the morning. Well, now I'm getting into like lifestyle habits, but let's back up. Sleep. I sleep terribly typically because my mind is usually very active, despite the meditation that I do. I'm always generating ideas, and sometimes I get stuck in patterns of thinking late at night, thinking about problems that I want to solve. And so, what do? I try to relax the body. I take a melatonin supplement. There's a variety of things that you can take, natural supplements. And melatonin occurs naturally in the body. Um, I also sometimes take valerian or neurotransmitter support stuff, St. John's wort, GABA, what is it, HTP 5. I take a magnesium supplement to try to relax my muscles. Sometimes, if things are really bad, I will, get up in the middle of the night. Usually, this is like if I have a strange migraine because of something I ate in my diet or whatever. I'll take an Epsom salt bath in the middle of the night. Uh, and one of the best things that's been working for me lately has been catnip, which is a sedative. And kind of funny how that works, right? Um, so those are just a few examples of things that you can take to relax the body, to help it sleep. I've also used the Vicks Vapo Rub to like rub on your chest and throat. I've put it on my feet, and I find that works really well because I think it's something with the blood flow that circulates through the body. Um, and obviously, with sleep, there's cycles that you go through, energetic cycles that occur throughout the day and the night of when there's a focus on certain elements, right? This is part of the cycle, 24-hour cycle that our bodies are in. And what I do know is that for me, between 3 and 5 a.m. is a lung healing process, and energetically your lungs are trying to heal. So if you have something with your lungs, which occasionally I do, because I round my posture too much in front of computers, laptops, round my posture, it's not upright enough, and there is a pressure on my lungs that I don't think I'm getting enough um, air sometimes, especially when I sleep. Because if you're sleeping in a bed that is too soft or not the right softness or hardness for you, I mean, you can round into your bed, right? You can just sink into it, and that might reduce your airflow when you're breathing in the middle of the night. And that could affect your sleep. It makes me wake up and I'm just thinking about random stuff in the middle of the night. So, um, these are just a few examples. I'm going off the top of my head here with a lot of this. But 8 hours of interrupted sleep is critical, in my opinion, and really needs to be a huge focus because it makes you sharper during the day, too. And I mean, I don't hear this talked about a lot as well, but emotionally, it makes me, sharper. Um, and if I don't get enough sleep, I get irritable. And like I don't have tolerance or patience for myself or certain things, and it's like, all right, you didn't get enough sleep, slow it down, you know, understand where you're at, right? Have some compassion, and yeah, make the next day better, right? So sleep is critical. All right, next, food. Organic food is going to be the best. The less processed the food, the better. There's so much junk food, especially in America. I mean, other countries it's not as bad, but America is seriously got the worst food practices. It's like this is why everybody is obese for the most part. Not for the most part, but there's a lot of people that have issues with their food. They don't know, right? These foods, these junk foods that are processed, are chemically addictive on purpose to get you to buy more. It's a consumeristic culture, and this is how they get you to continue to buy stuff, and that's not good for you. Um, Obviously, it might make you feel better in the short term, but in the long term, no way. You're gonna probably pack on pounds, and I mean, you're gonna know unconsciously, subconsciously, it's not good for you. And you'll probably feel worse because of it, which will compound other issues, right? So, I'm not saying don't ever eat it, I wouldn't recommend it, but if you want to reward yourself, sure, okay, maybe have something that is a treat. But there are healthy options for treats as well, right? I mean, there's great things that we can eat that are healthy for us. And when we have a treat that is a healthier version, it reinforces our own health. We don't want to be going backwards, cumulatively. We want to be moving forwards with all of our habits, one step at a time. And if we can reward ourselves in some way that isn't going to make us take a huge step back, then that's the decision we want to be making. So the less processed food, the better. Stay away from seed oils. Stay away from the corn syrups. I mean, gosh, I mean, there's so much stuff to avoid. It feels like, but the way you want to think about it is the less ingredients, the better. So raw fruits and vegetables. I mean, obviously you can cook them, but yeah, fruits and vegetables, meat, um, and grains. Yeah, I mean, stay away from grains. It's bad for how you burn energy. Um, you want to be moving towards fatty foods, and I'm know that might be controversial for some people, um, because of the food pyramid that we had 2 decades ago, and they said grains was the basis for all of our diet. No, it needs to be flipped upside down without the candy and sugars on top, or the bottom, right? In this case, we want to be having less sugars and all of that stuff, but everything else besides the grains, right? Fruits, vegetables, meats, eggs. Dairy can be tricky. It's tricky for me sometimes. If I have too much dairy, I'll get headaches and stuff. Um, so need to be careful with that sometimes. But once again, this needs to be tailored to your own diet, your own body. And there's tests out there that you can take to try to find what is the best food for you, the best pattern for eating. Um, Let me know if you want to hear more about that, or what your best style is for eating, and the way that you do take in your food. Um, Another thing that is critical to me is not just the food, but it's how you eat it. And I intermittent fast. I eat within about a 4 to 5 hour window, typically from like 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. And I know this is hard for people because it's like, no way am I skipping breakfast or lunch. That's the most important meal of the day, right? Um, then if they feel that way, then it probably is the best way. But if you want to try time restricted eating, intermittent fasting, give it a shot. You might find it works for you. I love it because you know, there's less time that you spend preparing meals, thinking about food, and it's actually not. I mean, for me, it's not that big of a deal at this point. I just eat within that window, and it works. It's sufficient, and my health has been good because of it. All right, so that's food. What else can contribute to your health? That's not kind of the obvious stuff. People, environments, um, attitudes. I feel like this video is probably going to um, go over. So, like, go over a significant period of time. I feel like it's getting long right now. So, you know what? I might just cut it here and do a part 2 of this video, um, and how we can continue to improve our health um, through all sorts of being life fit habits, right? So I'll call it there. I'll do that video on Monday, and I will continue to work towards these fitness videos. I've just had so many, oh my gosh, technical difficulties that it's wild. But anyway, I hope this helps. Like and subscribe if you could. It'd mean a whole lot to me. And have a good weekend. Until next time. See ya.